What's up guys, welcome back to some more Hogwarts Legacy. If you guys missed the previous video, we found the final piece of the triptych in the Undercroft, and all the pieces together made the portrait of Isidora, but Isidora herself is missing. So yeah, so far story is progressing pretty well. We are almost done, I believe. We have, I think, 4 main missions left, so I'm going to be focusing on finishing the new relationship side quest we got in the few previous videos. So the first one, which I've already fast traveled to, is the one for Poppy. So in the previous two videos ago, we met with some centaurs in the Forbidden Forest to see if we could convince them to help us save the near extinct Snidget species, I believe that's what it's called. So now I'm supposed to meet Poppy at the Irondale, just outside Irondale, and there's apparently some cave or something. So the quest is called the Centaur and the Stone. Here it is. Now, we'll just do this.
You made it.
I take it this means you had some luck at the library?
It took a few hours and some eye-watering maps, but I think this might be the cave Doran told us about.
Impressive, especially with how little information he gave us.
Well, I'm still not sure this is the cave, but it did seem the most promising. I stumbled across some folklore about a cave in the area that people avoid. Seemed the perfect place to hide something of value. It's a bit of a leap, I confess, but might a mysterious item such as a special moonstone be hidden in an equally mysterious cave? I think I'm desperate for anything at this point.
Did you discover why people avoid this cave?
Ridiculous, really. Rumour was that the cave drove people mad. I couldn't find any account by someone who had been in the cave, though. So either it is a rumour, or anyone who went in wasn't in any state to speak of it afterwards.
Well, we're here. We might as well have a look.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, I also decided to remove the pumpkin mask just because...
I wonder if you'd go blind from staring directly at a moonstone.
Just because I felt like some of the cutscenes were losing their seriousness because of the pumpkin mask. I will definitely use it later on. Yeah, but for now I decided to remove it. Especially considering I think we're getting close to the end of the game, so I expect the tone to be more serious, right? Alright, find the moonstone. Let's go.
Accio!
Alright, got more spiders. Great,
You don't
great.
think the rumors about the cave are true, do you? Accio!
Suppose we'll find out, won't we?
Revelio!
I think it was the previous video with Sebastian where I did say that I think the game overuses a lot of its enemy types. I mean, I get spiders are creepy or whatever, but I think a few more unique enemies would have been fun. They don't use the the Inferi a lot. That's what they call it. Okay. Surprisingly, a very well-lit cave. You would think people...
It's another aggressive one!
Cotton grass and dug bog. Hello, good sir.
Incendio!
I was just saying we need new enemy types, and here we go.
Incendio! Descendo!
I mean, I say new, but
Glacius!
this is the second one I've fought, right?
Confringo! Flipindo!
What is going on with them?
So this was the same creature that ate that deer, I believe? Lumos, huh? I need Lumos here. Alright, let me first adjust some spells. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. There we go. So yeah, I actually went to the room of requirement
Revelio!
on my own time. Just to kind of, you know.
Confringo!
I think this is where I'm supposed to bring the...
Lumos!
Lumos.
Yeah, here it is, yeah. So I assume this activates some...
Capulso!
What is this spinning? Oh, it's... Okay. Oh, there's a chest up there. I see, I see. Run. There we go. Unidentified hand. Oh yeah, one more thing. As when I went to the room requirement, I did unveil a bunch of stuff. So it's basically a bunch of legendary items that give me some bonus stats here and there. So for example, this geometric house cloak, which already had necromantic protection on it. So some cool stuff. But again, I'm not going to bother upgrading them until I'm sure that I'm not going to get any better gear, right? Otherwise, I think it's just a waste of resources. Especially considering on... Ooh.
Flippers.
I beg your pardon?
This must be how the rumor about the cave started. The Fwooper's song is said to drive anyone who hears it mad.
I don't think it's a good idea we're here.
Accio!
Celtic attire. A downgrade, which means more money for me. Oh yeah, I just realized also one more thing I forgot. So, I went to Hogsmeade and I bought one of each of the creatures. And I need to use them in a combat scenario or simultaneously, and I'll be able to finish Professor Garlick's assignment. Regarding her assignment, I already finished the first step, which was to plant and harvest fluxweed. Yeah, so I went to the room requirement, planted some seeds, harvested it. That's done. So I'll finish this, I can get Flipindo then. I'm pretty sure this is the last assignment, and therefore that should mean I am a Portkey student who knows everything.
If the Moonstone is here and so are Fwoopers, I wonder if it's being protected.
The Golden Snidget. Alright, more of these doors. Okay, so we know how this works. Alright, so this door over here requires the triple triangle and that, so I need to use...
Why am I surprised? First the Fwoopers and now this.
Here it is. Alright, so let's pull you, and let's pull you. That opens this door. Large
we need to find
rugs.
moths for those spinners.
Then for this, it's this one, and I think it's behind me, the symbol. No, where is it? Oh, here it is. So that's a moth.
Lumos.
Lumos!
There you go, moth. And then I think there was another door here, so that's the... That is this one, and this one.
Lumos.
Lumos!
Come on, buddy. There you go.
Perhaps the runes on the walls have something to do
pulsar.
with finding the moths.
What if I told you I've already solved it?
Another obstacle. No matter. I'm sure we can work out a way across.
Can I grab the moths from
Lumos.
here?
Lumos.
I can, okay. So put this one there, and then you can be put on this side. Where does that go? Can I... Okay, I need 3 moths for that. Okay, I see. That's the Fwooper tree.
Revelio.
There's a bunch of stuff behind. That looks like the Mimulus Mimbletonia, whatever it's called.
Debolso.
What is that doing? It's raising this platform, okay.
Merlin, it's beautiful.
What does that do? Let's see what happens if I dive in here. Maybe there's one more moth here? That'll be my guess at least. Oh, this could also be a shot. There's enemies to my right. Oh, looks like there's just a chest in here. Whoa, what a downgrade. Let's move on. Can I enter that water and fight? Okay, I don't want to use my plants here because it seems like...
Confringo! Flipindo! Depulso! Glacius! Bovada!
Oh, careful there, buddy.
Expelliarmus! Crucio! Bombada! Incendio! Accio!
I can't pick them up. Okay.
Confringo! Defender! Glacius!
Nice, got level. Another level, that's pretty good. There is something this way also. Another chest, maybe some enemies here. You want to surprise me? Huge decorated table, okay.
Revelio.
Okay, that's everything in this room? Good, okay. I thought there would be one of the moths here, since we need 3 to open the door. I assume this takes us back to where we came from, right? Decorous midday school uniform.
Depulso! Accio!
Alright, so we are back. Oh, here we go. Okay, I see. Okay, so we're back here, which means that whirlpool is done.
Depulso!
So I know this raises this platform. What does this do? Ah, there's the moth. Okay, okay.
Lumos.
Alright, that's one moth. Then I can yoink this moth from here. And slap it over here. And I'm pretty sure I can just pull this and I can run across.
You did it!
Oh, here we go. Alright, you know what? Let's use the plants. Yeah.
I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this again.
Let's use that. Let's use that. And get close and use Mandrake. One down.
Levioso! Incendio!
Alright, please tell me that Professor Garlick's assignment is done, because these things are expensive. Let me actually check myself. Quests. Here we go. There we go, perfect. So I can pick up Flipindo. And while I'm here, let's pick up another spell. Upgrade. I don't use the transformation tool much. Casting Depulso releases an additional blast directly around you. Sure, let's grab this. Why not? I mean, eventually they'll have all the upgrades, so might as well.
Look, where the water's bubbling. How odd.
Shall we take a closer look?
You read my mind.
So is this whirlpool magic or... Wait, where's Poppy, by the way? Oh, there she is, okay. Oh, this takes us to the fupa tree.
Merlin, it's even more beautiful close up. It's got to be here, I just know it.
Can I use my...
Revelio.
Let me try something. Can I use the bag over here? Or my knapsack, or whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it.
Incendio.
Given what swoopers are known to do, I never thought I'd be so happy to see this many of them.
I don't know. I've been listening to them for a while now, and I'm starting to lose my mind.
Very funny. I was just thinking how it's proof that poachers haven't been here, assuming this is where the moon's...
Revelio.
Which means we're one step ahead of them.
You just jinxed us, didn't she? She just did.
We found it!
Wait, let me try something.
Staring directly at the moon.
Aw, I can't target them, okay. That's the moonstone.
Well,
Scholar's
we found what we
moonstone.
came for. Now we just need to bring it to the henge.
Look at that floating grass. Truly magical. Actually, a lot of this stuff is floating. Now, you could excuse them saying, hey look, it's a magical world. There's no bugs in this game, but this definitely feels like a mistake on the level artist side when they were placing these assets. Yeah, all these flowers are floating, that grass was floating. That's a shame.
Well done, Poppy. This did end up being the right cave after all.
A good thing too. We need every advantage over the poachers if we're to get to the Snidgets first. We should do as Doran suggested and bring the moonstone to the henge.
Yeah, I'm ready to leave. Nothing else to explore.
Shall we?
We shall.
I think I got everything
If we
in the
leave
cave.
now, we should make it there by nightfall.
And if I didn't miss anything, I assume it's just some gear that's lower level than what I already have.
That's the henge, precisely where Doran said it would be. But now that we're here, I'm not entirely sure how to... We knew we were at the cave for the moonstone, but Doran didn't tell us what to expect when we placed the stone in the henge.
Whatever it is, it had better have to do with Snidgets.
The clock is ticking in that regard, isn't it? Let's make our way down. We're nearly at the end of this. I think that's it over there.
How's your gran doing, by the way?
Nothing keeps Gran down. She set up a caterwauling charm and threatened to make a coat out of the next poacher that set foot on her doorstep. I still feel terrible that I'm the reason they went there.
Surely she'll be pleased you've gone after the Snidgets.
I hope so. Gran understands how important it is to protect those who need it.
I mean, the music is quite cheerful, so I'm hoping that no poachers ambush us. Then again, this is a great way to lull us into a false sense of security. It's definitely a henge. A stone
I think we
henge.
can safely say we know where the moonstone goes.
Whoa!
Oh. That was a mooncalf dance. Do you know how rare it is to see even one? They only ever happen under a full moon. Though I suppose the moonstone allowed it to happen now.
Is the pattern they left behind on the ground normal?
All part of the dance. No one pattern is ever the same though. We'll need to draw this one to get a better sense of it. Can't wait to tell Gran that I've managed to see not one but 2 mooncalf dances. She'll be jealous.
You've seen this before?
It was pure luck the first time. I was on Highwing or I'd never have spotted it. It was the night Well, the night I met Highwing, actually
If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
I'd actually like you to know. About 5 years ago, Highwing had been captured by poachers. At first, they planned to sell her, but soon decided they wanted to kill her instead. More money, I suppose. I'd finally had enough. I freed Highwing and we ran. We'd flown for ages when I spotted mooncalves dancing below and we landed to watch them. It felt like an omen. A good one. A sign that the worst was over.
What do you mean you'd had enough and the worst was over?
You see, the night I freed Highwing was also the night I ran away from home.
Plot twist.
A poacher camp. I come from a family of poachers.
Avada Kedavra. I mean, just because she comes from a family of poachers doesn't make her bad, right? So
Why didn't you tell me this before? After all our time together.
I'm sorry. I thought about it so many times, but I'm ashamed of who my family is. I never fitted in, but the older I got, the more apparent it became. Gran tried for years to convince my parents to let me live with her. Suffice it to say, when I left with Highwing, I flew straight for her house.
How brave. I'm glad you escaped.
So am I. There were so many creatures I was unable to help when I was younger. Now that's all I want to do.
From everything I've seen, you're doing precisely that.
I've had a bit of help. I've never told anyone any of this, but I'm glad that you know. It's nice to have someone to talk about it with.
What was it like growing up in a family of poachers?
The thing I remember most was how much we moved around, always chasing the next big kill. It was chaotic and dangerous and nowhere a child should ever grow up.
I like it. I think it was a nice reveal. It's a nice bit of character from her. Again, I'm going to say this right now. I think the side characters are so much better than the keeper characters. The keeper characters, so far, are the least interesting part about the game. Except for Neve. I think Neve was interesting because her trial involved the Deathly Hallows. So there's some bit of, intrigue about her. But the other three, I mean, we'll see about the fourth one, San Bakar, I believe his name was. But we'll see.
Do your parents know about the things you do now? Saving that dragon from the fighting ring, for instance.
We don't speak, or rather, they don't speak to me. Last I heard, they were in Borneo trying to make their fortunes there. Acromantulas. However, I wouldn't be surprised if word has got back to them. Some days a part of me hopes that it has. Now that I'm older, I wish I could talk to them, get them to see sense. But sadly, I suspect that wouldn't do any good.
Isn't Aragog an Acromantula? I mean, Aragog isn't born yet, obviously. That'll take place years later, but might be a small Easter egg referencing him.
We were around so many poachers in the tent. Were you not worried about being recognized?
Poachers are nomadic, and most of the ones in the area aren't any I'd grown up with. That said, I suspect someone must have recognized me. That's how they got to Gran.
I'm glad you told me.
We should get back to Doran. He'll need to see the symbol, and we've got poachers to beat. If you collect the moonstone, I can make a quick drawing of the symbol for Doran.
Are you finished with the drawing?
Just barely. I think the pattern's a bird. At least that's what it looks like.
Didn't the journal say the key to finding the Snidget lies in the moonlight?
Of course. That's it. We need to show this to Doran. Not that I'd know where to find him at this hour. Perhaps we should head back to the castle and we can track him down after a good night's sleep.
Agreed. I'm ready to leave if you are. Brilliant.
There we go. That is that quest done. Hello, Poppy. If I were to follow her, would she go to Hufflepuff Common Room? I assume that's where she'd go, right? Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you who just noticed, it said a side quest got updated. That's actually the side quest I picked up just near the place I met Poppy. It's about some thief who comes at night or whatever, so I'll do that on my own time. Alright, so now that's done. The next thing I want to do is speak to Natty, but first I want to pick up the Flipindo spell. So I think I just have to fast travel to... this flag? Yeah.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Alright, Professor Garlic, it's been a long time.
Perhaps a hybrid. Bouncing ten...
I've finished the activities you assigned me, Professor Garlic.
Wonderful! I hope you gained a greater appreciation for the flora in our lives. I am forever enraptured by it. Just yesterday, I spent hours pruning my self-fertilizing shrubs and flutterby bushes. Didn't realize how long I'd been at it until the sun began to set. Well, if there's one thing I love to see more than my plants thriving, it's one of my students doing the same. Now, ready to learn Flipindo? Chin up, keep a light grip, and it's all in the wrist. Let's see you give it a go. You will want to focus with this spell. Nothing as mortifying as knocking back a colleague when all you wanted to do was move a few pots.
Alright, Flipindo. It's a purple spell, so...
Wonderfully done! If you'd like to practice a bit more, you're welcome to do so here in the greenhouse. Just mind the plants, please.
Understood. Alright, so I just got 2 achievements. I got one called Spellmaster and I got one called Challenge Accepted. So I believe one of them was for finishing all the assignments, and I assume the other one is for learning all the spells. But I don't have Avada Kedavra yet, but I assume like the other Unforgivable Curses, it's an optional spell, that's why maybe. Alright, where do I want to put this? Let's put it in this slot. Flipindo. Flip objects and enemies upwards and backwards. With its short cooldown, it is excellent for setting up and extending juggles. Its ability to flip objects instantly is useful for solving puzzles and exploiting certain enemies' weaknesses. Oh, I can probably use these for the Merlin trials, right? With the stone cubes or whatever. That's probably what I was missing.
Flipindo!
Look at that!
Flipindo!
The greenhouse won't keep itself in order without a nudge from me.
Professor Garlic, a moment of your time?
The plants are resting, so now's as good a time as any.
I was wondering, what made you want to teach herbology?
How lovely of you to ask. I've always had an affinity for greenery, so this situation is a bit of a dream come true. After graduation, I was thrilled to be asked to step in for my old herbology professor. He'd had a slight accident, you see.
Oh dear. A shame for him, but it worked out well for you.
Well, he never cared, really cared for the plants, and they could sense it. Oh, you'd be surprised how perceptive a plant can be. At any rate, the trouble began one day when he cut into a wigan tree. Unfortunately for him, its leaves were hiding a bowtruckle. You may recall the marvelous creatures that resemble a twig.
I do recognize the
The
name.
little beast gouged the professor's
God.
eyes quite fiercely, but terrifying, I'd imagine. Likely for the professor, too.
And that's when you took over as the herbology professor.
Well, not quite. After 3 weeks at St. Mungo's, my predecessor regained a tiny bit of his eyesight. He insisted on returning to the greenhouse. Within a week, he claims by accident, kicked a Chinese chomping cabbage, so it was back to St. Mungo's for him.
A fair bit of bad luck there, I'd say.
Well, I felt awful for him, but I dare say I felt a bit more sympathy for the cabbage. Upon his discharge from the hospital, his indifference to plants had turned to utter disdain. He lost what little patience he had left with a particularly temperamental venomous tentacula and, well, his resulting leave of absence continues to this day.
I'm glad everything worked out as it did and that you're the herbology professor
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
Very kind of you to say. I do love these gardens and helping my students grow. Lovely speaking with you. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and remember, be kind to your wigan trees.
Alright, good night, Professor Garlic. Okay, so that's every spell. I do want to put Flipindo in a different slot, though. I mean, it works really well with this slot here. I'm just gonna forget about it. Alright, so that's done. Let's go talk to Natty now. Try to wrap up all these quests before I go to this one. Grief and Vengeance. Alright, she's in Hogwarts Castle, thankfully. I can't emphasize this enough, but the best part about this game is Hogwarts itself. Which seems obvious, but I feel like the developers could have focused less of their time on making a big open world. Because this open world is surprisingly bigger than I thought it was going to be. And the thing is, I don't think they need to...
Off on another adventure, are we?
This is a pretty sight. I mean, the snow particles aren't the best, but it's nice. Look at all this food. Nobody's eating it. I wish I could. It looks so good. Oh, look at that massive ass turkey. What is that noise?
Revelio.
Sorry, I heard somebody. But yeah, as I was saying, I do think... Ooh. Let me just solve this quickly first. Alright, the upper one is 7 plus... What is that? It's this one here, so that's 9. So 7 plus 9 is 16. I need an 8. So the upper one is the spider. There we go. And the bottom one is 11 plus 0. So it's I need a 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. The Hydra, whatever thing. That should be the solution. But yeah, I wish the game focused less on having a massive open world and more on, you know, more interactions with Hogwarts. Make Hogwarts actually feel like, I don't know, the Normandy from Mass Effect or the Citadel, just with more unique NPC interactions. And one of the biggest things I think they missed out on was actually having relationships with different characters. You know, I think that would have been pretty fun. It would have definitely made the game feel more like it was a an actual school that you're attending, you know. All right, Natty. Yeah, I'll mention more of this once I finish the game.
With you.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
Uh-oh.
If she knew more about what you've done, I suspect she'd be proud.
If she knew any more about what I've done, she would never let me out of her sight again.
I'm sorry. Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is
I'm
us
suspicious
or
about
Officer
Singer. I don't know.
If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself,
Classic
he
survivor's
would
guilt.
still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, We left to come to Scotland.
Do you think taking down the Ashwinders will avenge your father's death?
No. Vengeance is not what drives me. My father would not want that. He and my mother raised me to believe that it is a privilege to be able to fight for those who cannot. I know there is risk involved, but I feel it is worth it. I am glad you seem to think so too.
I just realized that the three of them, Sebastian, Natty, and Poppy's quests are quite similar. They all are trying to protect or help somebody who's weak or helpless or can't defend themselves, right? So Sebastian with Anne, but that seems to be the most twisted version of it. Natty with, you know, the Ashwinders and how innocents are being caught in it, and Poppy with the creatures and poachers. I just realized Amit, the Ravenclaw, has been shafted hard. Holy, poor guy, he's getting nothing, no screen time.
What does your mother think about all of this?
Well, as you saw, she worries a great deal. She is an excellent seer, but I think it bothers her to this day that she did not see my father's death coming. She misses him, as do I.
What if I
So I
told
believe
you...
on some level she understands my need to seek justice in a small way. But that does not mean that she likes it.
I really wish they explained this magic a bit more in this universe, right? Because we do know that people can predict the future. We know this. Prophecies exist. We've seen them in the Department of Mysteries, I believe it's called, in those, you know, the globes. We know prophecies exist. We know there are people who can predict the future. But it seems kind of an unexact science. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
I mean, I guess they
Oh
don't need to
my.
explain it then, right?
That is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
Well, it's obvious why your mom is so scared. She obviously doesn't want to lose you like she lost her husband.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed.
There's
Thank you
that
again
done.
for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
Aw, thank you. You know, I get the saying, I get it, but I don't agree with the wording because I love rain. I love being in rain. I think it's the best weather. The sun is overrated, guys. It's rain all the way. Look at that Christmas tree. Pretty pretty.
Revelio.
Alright, so I think I just have one more thing to do. And that is the Sebastian one. Sebastian has a plan to talk to Anne without Solomon. I have to go fast travel all the way to Feldcroft. Alright, so I'll see you guys when I get there. Alright, here we go. Secret meeting time. I'm on my way.
Sebastian, a lost relic from a catacomb which requires a dark sacrifice.
I know how it sounds, but if this can help you, it's worth the risk.
Does Ominous know about this?
He helped find the scriptorium where we discovered Slytherin's spellbook.
Very. If Ominous will be there, I'll meet you. We don't have much time. Solomon wants to leave Feldcroft.
What? Leave? Never mind. You need to stall him. Buy us time, Anne. Please.
I shall do my best. I'll be in touch.
Solomon can't take Anne from Feldcroft. Where would they go? When would I see her?
Sebastian.
I can't believe my uncle wants to leave Feldcroft. Anne's going to stall him. She must. We need time.
Time? For what?
I've learned more about the relic. I cross-referenced Slytherin's spellbook with everything in the library on relics and dark sacrifices. That's when I realized something. I believe the relic will only work inside the catacomb.
So we have to get Anne to the catacomb and then conduct a sacrifice. Seems risky.
It'll be worth the risk. Our biggest hurdle may be convincing Ominous. And we'll only give this a chance if he's on board.
And we have to keep all of this from your uncle. If he goes to the headmaster, we could be expelled.
Let me handle Ominous this time. As for my uncle, he's not an Auror anymore. What he doesn't know, well, won't hurt us.
Do you think your uncle would tell anyone at the Ministry about all of this if he found out?
If he found out, I doubt he'd go to the Ministry. He didn't part ways with them well, from what I understand. He won't say, but I believe his strong aversion to dark magic has something to do with his time there. Anne thinks he once decided to fight fire with fire, so to speak, and resorted to using an unforgivable curse in fight against dark wizards. At least that's what she thought she heard. When he realized what his job had led him to become, he left rather abruptly. So, I'm not sure he'd go to the Ministry to report on his own family using dark magic now.
Good luck with Ominous. Until we meet again.
I shall let you know when the four of us should meet at the catacomb. Look for my owl.
Alright, there we go.
See you soon.
That is all the quests I can do for now. So, yeah, I think that'll bring me to the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Next time, as I said, we will continue with the main quest, which I believe, yeah, is to work with Lodgok to stop Ranrock's plans. Now, I just want to quickly remind you guys, if you go into challenges and go to quests, we can see this tab here, complete main quest. There's only 4 left, so we're close. Complete assignments, that's all the assignments done. Complete 10 of those sites. So how many? There's a total of 18 plus 1 more here. So it seems like this... Huh. There's actually a lot more than I thought. Anyway. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, do show your support below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.